Over the past 3 days, we've had some major updates to zombies and Call of Duty in general. Here we will only be going over the zombies update, but I will leave the link below for you lovely people to look over when you have the chance. So starting with the December 10th update, we had the following go live for Citadel Des Moors. Addressed an issue where players could get an AFK warning while actively running around the map. So this has been happening quite a bit to the people I play the game with. They've been halfway through a quest objective, running the map, doing the fire sword, and then they get the warning, you will be kicked in so many minutes. This was a nightmare as we didn't know, are they going to be kicked from the game or not? It has only happened once where we just had to end the game. It was a high round, and when they came back in, there was no point to continue. They lost their level 3 papped weapons, and they had no perks. So starting from scratch is a nightmare, especially if you're going for higher rounds. It is annoying, and I do think they still need to look into the people who are lagging and they get kicked from connection to host, especially if you are the host. Next on the list, they've addressed an issue where loading a save after obtaining the 4 incantations would prevent players from entering the final encounter. I haven't seen this happen personally, but I am happy they fixed it. Going into a saved game, where you've done the incantations, you've got everything ready for the boss fight, and then you can't enter it. That would annoy me so much, but I am happy to see that they have fixed it for the people who have been having this issue. They've also addressed an issue where the light beams for obtaining the amulet would not be visible if a player disconnected and rejoined the match while in a squad. Well, to be honest with you, this will probably go but just before they pick up the amulet, because you don't really need to see them after it's been done. And they've also addressed an issue where changing default attachments on a blueprint weapon would not apply in the match. So those are the ones that we had from December 10th, folks. Now, on the 11th, we had the following, which is the biggest changes made to the zombies mode in general. So they actually addressed quite a few issues in this update, mostly in regards to the swords, which are excessive amounts of enemies could spawn during the Caliburn sword quest, so the fire sword. Addressed an issue that could cause players to be stuck indefinitely in the sanctuary during the Solace sword quest. So in the lion's den, so to speak, where we have actually seen people using this area just going for AFK kills and trying to get a higher round. They resolved an issue where light symbols would respond incorrectly to splash damage during the Lion Sword quest. Now, I've actually had this issue myself, where even though the correct symbols I did shoot them, for some reason they just wouldn't upgrade the sword and they would just go back in and spur back out. Now, the next 3 are pretty major. The first issue that they've put down, which is that they've addressed an issue where the main quest boss received higher melee damage than intended. I think everyone knows that this is the nerf to the drill. This was the go-to method for speedrunners and anyone who watches YouTube. The drill has been nerfed so much, it doesn't even take a slither of health off the Guardian anymore. So the previous speedruns will now more than likely be made invalid, so it will be interesting to see how speedrunners will cope with this nerf of the drill. The next one, they addressed a rare issue where the main quest boss would die in one hit. I think everyone has seen this online, where a one-shot from the pack-a-punched pistols destroyed the Guardian in one hit and got 1 million points. This was extremely rare, and only 2 clips are online of it of people doing it. Last but not least, they've closed the exploit that allowed the idolized Gobblegum to freeze the main quest boss indefinitely. Now, I've actually done this one. It was one of the other times that we've done the Guardian, but it was a nice little exploit to do if you just kinda wanted a chilled boss fight. But sadly, this has now been closed. These changes have made zombies a little bit better, but there are still some bugs that need to be fixed, but they will more than likely be done over the next few months. And our last bit of update news from yesterday, the 12th of December, we have the 2 following patch updates. They address the issue where players would unintentionally become invulnerable after using the Rampart cannon, and an issue where players could potentially get stuck after being grabbed by the amalgam in certain cases. This one for me was a nightmare. I've gotten stuck twice, once by the cannon and one by the jug machine, so I am happy that this has been fixed, as if you haven't got anywhere but here, you would literally just have to kill yourself and just get spawned back in or leave the game and come back. That was very annoying, but it's good to see it's been fixed. Treyarch do seem to be more on it this year with game changes and updates than the last few games we've actually had. It does seem like they are listening to the community with a lot of issues we are experiencing. After these updates went out, Treyarch decided to post this on Twitter X late last night, which has to do with the swords in Citadel. Yesterday's elemental sword wonder weapon damage reduction to the main quest boss in Citadel was greater than intended. The issue has been corrected and the elemental sword's wonder weapons now deal much greater damage against the main quest boss, providing a competitive option for boss damage. We also have additional adjustments and improvements planned for the elemental sword wonder weapons in a future update. Now with this, first of all, why were the swords nerfed? I mean, before this, they weren't exactly great to begin with, were they? So it is nice to see that they have buffed them, but they should be dealing probably the highest damage they can to the Guardian out of every weapon. They're meant to be the wonder weapon of the map. It'll be like having a ray gun that doesn't take out a zombie on round 1. These should never be nerfed, and they should have been slightly overpowered to start with, to be honest with you. But these are the swords that the Guardian is supposed to be protecting and doesn't let anyone have, so it is nice to see that they've been buffed, even if it is slightly better. Let us know below what you think of the updates, and have you had any issues since all 3 have come out? Let us know folks down below, and until next time, enjoy your day.